This module will introduce you to the electronic health record Cerner Power Chart.
This module does have sound. Please turn on your speakers. You can use the buttons in the bottom left corner to pause, rewind, or play. Let's begin.
In order to have access to the chart, you must complete the education and an e-card must be submitted. Access is granted 48 to 72 hours after these modules are completed in HealthStream, or, if not watching in HealthStream, 48 to 72 hours after notifying the Learning and Adoption team. No one will notify you of access. Simply wait the appropriate amount of time and then try to log in. Open Workspace by clicking from the desktop, the program list, or the taskbar. This assumes you are on a Cox Health computer and not using a remote tool such as SRA. Once you see this screen, click on PowerChart to launch that application. If using a remote tool like SRA, you will also see this screen and click on PowerChart to launch that application. If you are logged into the computer, it will pass you through PowerChart without asking you to type credentials again. However, if it is a public PC, you will see this login screen and will need to type your username and password. Your password and username are the same password and username that you used to log on to the Cox Health network. The person who submitted your e-card was sent your username and initial password, or you can call the help desk to ask for assistance logging in the first time. When creating a system password, be aware it must be complex. It must have 3 out of the 4 following: an uppercase, a lowercase, a special character, and a number. If it has been more than 3 business days since you completed this training and you still cannot log in, please call the help desk at 269-3153. Remember, it may take up to 48 to 72 hours from the time of exam completion before access is granted. Calling the help desk prior to this time frame elapsing may further delay access being granted. Also, if you have not tried to sign in within 90 days from completion of this training and your credentialing test, your access will be disabled. To reset your access, call the help desk. If you are walking away from the computer but don't want to close the patient's chart or PowerChart yet, you need to secure your session. To do this, you do not have to close the patient's chart. However, you cannot be in the patient's chart. So click back on the organizer on one of the pages in the organizer toolbar. You will notice the patient's chart stays open. Now go up to the blue line at the top of your screen and right-click on the blue line. Choose Secure Session. Your session is now secured at the bottom of the screen. Depending on which version of Windows the computer that you are using has installed, you may see your username face up, or you may simply see a small blue square with a key indicating that your session is secured. If you walk away from your computer and it is left inactive, it will start a countdown to auto-secure the session. Whether you have secured it or it auto-secured, it will stay locked in the bottom of your screen for 4 hours. To log back in, click on your username, and the login box will appear. Type your password and click OK. The screen then returns to where you were when you secured your session or where it auto-secured. It is important to note that every time you log into PowerChart, you get 3 tries to successfully enter your username and password. If you enter one or both of those incorrectly 3 times in a row, the system will lock you out. To gain access, you will need to call the help desk so they can reset it for you. Be sure to keep your username and password secure. Anything that is done under your login is considered to be done by you. Keeping your access secure is your responsibility. Here are some tips to help. When walking away from the computer, be sure to log out of PowerChart or secure your session. Do not write down your username or password. Do not let someone else use your access, such as for training purposes.
If you suspect someone knows your password, be sure to change it and call the help desk to report it. Some locations in our hospitals and clinics use what is called single sign-on. This means your badge can be used to gain entry to PowerChart. This means you must be sure to keep your badge secure so that it cannot be used by someone else to gain access under your login. Do not print things from PowerChart. It is not possible to track or record who views items printed out of the electronic medical record. There are several ways to find a patient in PowerChart. When you first log in, you may see the Patient Access List, or PAL. This is one page of the organizer and shows either one entire nursing unit's patients or just those patients assigned to you. It also contains the patient's protected health information, so you may see a window that asks you to assign a relationship to these patients. It may help you to know that there is always a dark blue bar that goes almost the entire width of your page. This bar displays the name of the page you are currently viewing on the left side of the screen. Also, if you look at the blue bar at the top of your screen, you will notice that it says Organizer when you are not inside a patient's chart, and your name is also displayed in this bar. Here we can see an example of an established relationship box. This may pop up when you first access the PAL, or it may not show up until you try to open the patient's chart. Use the drop-down to select the appropriate relationship. The choices displayed will be those that are correct according to your role and job duties. If you do not select a relationship and simply close this box, you will not see the information displayed on that patient's line, as shown here. It will instead say no relationship. Another way to locate the patient is to find them on the patient list. This page of the organizer can display different tabs for each nursing unit. Select the tab with the correct nursing unit for your patient. Then find your patient on that tab. To open their chart, double-click the line where their name is displayed. Be aware, the first time you open a patient's chart, you will be asked to assign a relationship to that patient. The relationship choices that are displayed will be appropriate to your job duties. You can use the column headers on the patient list to reorder this list. For example, if I want to alphabetize them, I click on the column header that says Name. Clicking Name again reverse alphabetizes it. Or perhaps I want to view them by date of birth. To do that, click the Date of Birth header. The last page of the organizer that you can pick a patient off of is called the Multi-Patient Task List. If you work in an area or department that works from a task list, you will be able to see what tasks are due for each patient and can use this page to open their chart. If you use this list and work with patients for more than one location or department, you may find it necessary to change which unit you are viewing. To do this, right-click directly where it says Assigned Patients or Assigned Tasks. Then, click Customize Patient View. The choices shown here are pulled from whichever tabs you set up on your patient list page. Place a check mark in the box that says Choose Patient List, then select the list you would like to view. Click the OK button. The list then populates with those patients and those patients' tasks. Notice the tabs on this page change according to the type of discipline that is logged into PowerChart. When picking a patient from one of these three pages, you are opening the current visit or encounter. If you cannot find your patient on one of these lists, you may need to instead search for a patient. Be aware that students are not granted the ability to search for patients under their login.
The banner is the blue area near the top of the screen that displays once a patient's chart is opened. In this area, important information such as the patient's name, age, date of birth, and attending physician are listed. The patient's location and financial visit for this visit are also listed. These can be used to verify if you are looking at the correct visit prior to charting or entering orders for the patient. There are also clickable links in the banner.
Clicking on the patient's name shows you some demographic information. This information is fed over from the admissions software. Clicking on the patient's location allows you to select a different visit if you need to do so. To select a different visit, double-click on the line you wish to select. Click Yes when prompted to verify you wish to change visits. You may also be asked to establish a relationship for this visit with a pop-up box as well. Click OK once you have selected the correct visit. You will notice the number in the banner has now changed as well. Clicking on the patient's allergy listing in the banner will display the patient's allergies. The banner will say allergies not recorded the first time the patient has a chart created in PowerChart. The admitting nurse then lists whether the patient has allergies and what they are, or if the patient has no known allergies. That information will then pull through to subsequent visits. If the patient has substances listed to which they have an adverse reaction, the banner will then say allergies. If the patient has no known allergies listed, the banner will display no known allergies. This will then be updated by the admitting nurse at each visit. You can re-watch this module at any time by going to the My Transcript tab in HealthStream. Return to HealthStream now and complete Part 2.